that they appointed as a worthy candidate, they shot him 20 times, and then later, after having killed him or did all this damage, then they were going to try and use non-lethal use after having shot him 20 times, and then they were put on police. I don't know what they use the title, but they put them on police vacation to take time to reflect on the wonderful, crazy, evil job that they did. And a lot of people look at that as that the police is basically doing their job when it's really just going buck crazy and doing evil things and taking lives and of Negro, colored, black, African Americans. And I just want people to know that that's exactly how I feel about the matter. And I've invited other people to come on the show to speak their mind regarding the abuse and misuse of the police or people, period. And you're welcome to speak on the subject matter, and you're welcome to come on and voice your views and feelings and speak from the heart and do that. And it'll be put on YouTube. And like today is the 25th, so information will be on YouTube, and it'll be for other people to look at it or to review it or to speak to the subject matter. And if they're speaking factually, like saying, well, if they're in pursuit of a suspect and they lose sight of them, and then anyone will do a Negro, colored, black, African American will fit the description of who they're trying to kill, because it's running on the title of the fact the person has to be black, and that's why they didn't release the officer's name, but they got paid vacation or whatever it is that they're or be questioned about, or trying to get the conversation straight about the death. And then we talk about this death in Texas where the black person was shot, gunned down by the police. It was just recently after. And they were trying to describe him that he was banging on cars or hitting cars or whatever the case was taking place. And then they shot him to death. And it was like they weren't trying to resolve the matter, like where you're under arrest and we're kind of bring you into justice and other police officers come to help to resolve the matter. It's just bang, 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 and now you're dead. And so if you're wearing your drawers around your ankles or wearing around your waist or however people wear their articles of clothing, that's just the way you can dress if that's the way you dress. So to justify it by saying, well, he was banging on cars, that's not a felony. Or if he got in a disturbance with someone and it didn't amount to anything, the police will come to help to resolve it. And the whole deal is not a lethal weapon or lethal weaponry isn't the right to go to resolve the matter. But when you're shooting or killing Negro, colored, black, African Americans, is always get the gun out, shoot those big heavy rounds, or 357 rounds, or whatever kind of weaponry you're shooting, and you shoot them in the chest or the face or the head. And I'm thinking if you just some retaliatory deal, it's not like you shoot them in the leg, or they got non-lethal weapons that you can. They got cameras that can take pictures of you. They can do all kind of stuff to know the person that they're gonna bring to justice. But if you're killing them first, then there's no one to bring to justice except for a dead body. So I think that's awful, and it's an awful message to the Negro, colored, black, African American race about they're losing family members, people that don't ever see their dad again or their mom again because they're shot to death and dead. And the police officers saying, I'm afraid for my well-being. Well, you silly ass should find a different kind of job where you don't have to go murder or kill people because you got a silly badge to give you justification to murder people or kill people. And I know that they put you on vacation to speak to your situation to try and justify, well, we want to keep you as a police officer, but it's just horrible that you're not brought to justice or put in jail or whatever the case may be. When it comes to killing Negro, colored, black, African Americans, there's always a way to calm the people's spirit by trying to make it look like it's way greater than what it is. But the situation, if you're banging on a car, that's not a felony. If you get in an incident with someone, that's not a felony either. Or if you hadn't did anything to where it's a weapon involved, or you shot, or a knife, or whatever you're using to bring police action to bring to the forefront to where you're thinking you need to take a life of a human being, I think that's horrible. And so I'm just saying that to all you people out there in TV land, because I think you need to hear that. And I think the police need to hear it. And they need to understand. Don't think, well, he's only been a cop for 3 years or 2 years or whatever amount of time he or she ever been a cop that justify murdering or killing people. That is, it's a good conversation, but it's a worthless conversation. I'm not going for it. And as a TV producer, I'm letting other people know that's where I'm coming from. So I know a lot of you take the high road or low road. It doesn't make me any different, because I just chose my road, which is the road of many, many lost family members because their life was brought to an abrupt end, and the person thinks because they're wearing a badge that they're a policeman. But their family members would say, well, I would want to live and don't want to be shot or injured. And that's why I shoot first and ask questions later. And I think that's an evil, evil way to go to dealing with human beings, especially, I don't care what your race is, if you're white, black, or Negro, colored, or Spanish, or whatever the case is, that if you have to bring people to justice, your job is to bring people to justice. And if they're not doing nothing, that takes it to a level of having to draw your gun, then you have the non-lethal weapons that they have, stun guns and things of this nature, to try and slow your progression toward them. Hopefully to work things in their favor, where they don't have to, where other officers are on their way to help to resolve the matter. But to start shooting first and killing first and injuring first, and or way beyond injuring, because that's what it's all about. And then you want to do some afterward, try and do some injuring later, but the person's already dead. So I think that's evil. I just want you people out there in TV land, out there, that human beings are human beings that deserve to live, to see their family grow up and become old. And education is already worthless nowadays, and you're dying for no reason. You're going to court, and you're trying to put together a situation that'll favor you, but the officer needs to be made accountable for his or her actions. And that's what people talk about. And I know a lot of time people talk about the 17 white individuals that were killed, but we're talking about thousands and thousands of black people that have been murdered and butchered by the police and squirted with water hoses and evil stuff. But people are now becoming, as human beings, or all people are starting to say, hey, we're just sick and tired of people killing or murdering. And we're sick and tired of people taking people going to schools and killing individuals because they're upset or mad. And they're just taking human lives, and I think that's a horrible thing. But that needs to be addressed and resolved. So I'm saying that, look, it's not open season to start injuring or hurting people. And when people are invited to come on Pofor Community for Justice, to talk about justice for all, it's for all human beings. I don't care what your race is or who you are. It's justice for everyone. But if a matter can be resolved without violence, then let's go that route. But if it's all about, if in the forefront of your mind, you always got that excuse of saying he's got a gun or she's got a gun or they got a weapon or something, and then you find out there's no weapon to be found, but then you try and give a nice little speech about what the person that was committed the crimes was doing awful things, and that's the person we were chasing and trying to bring to justice. And now all of a sudden you find a person that there's no weapons. There's no need to have shot him 20 times and to have murdered him or to have killed him or to try and justify by saying, well, the police needs to stop, to catch their breath. And I think that's very evil, and I think that's very wicked. So I want you people out there in TV land, because me as a black African-American Negro, that I've lived all my life through all this wicked, vicious stuff, and I've had people trying to shoot me and shoot friends of mine or shoot people that I know, and they've been put on dirt not beside me, because I'm glad that they are. Because if that's where you're coming from and you're trying to exercise that evil behavior, then it's going to be dealt with whatever amount of it takes of a situation, whatever a situation it takes to resolve that matter, to bring it to an end. But these are dealing with evil, wicked people that are trying to hurt, injure people, or people that are on drugs or alcohol or whatever reason, and they got this attitude that I'm going to go out and take a life, and would have made up mind because they got a weapon of some type, and they think, well, if I'm quick enough on the draw, then I'll take a human life. And I think that's awful. People are tired of, earlier that day you got a brother or a sister or a mom or a daddy, and later on that day they're dead because someone happens to have their head up behind looking through their navel, taking a human life because they're tired of an individual living, and they don't even know the individual or could care less about the individual, and it's not about getting the fisticuff to where a person can at least get jumped on or get a knot upside the head, but you just got a made-up mind to want to injure or kill. And that's the thing about the people going to the schools, and I'm glad the policemen are going to schools carrying guns to protect themselves and protect their families. And if a person goes to school, they know that very likely that you're going to find yourself dead because you're going there to take an innocent life and to be a victim of the kind of behavior that you're trying to impose on innocent people, and people are trying to stop that behavior. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired of scared to death, and people just shooting random shots and whatever they want to do because they just, for a moment, they feel empowered, and they feel like a gun or a weapon is a nice tool to have. And I'm glad they're moving it up to 21 to have a gun in your physical possession, and that hopefully people will get more mature and they be thinking, well, hopefully by the time I turn 18, I can go get me a gun or carry me a weapon, and now you just don't have that privilege to carry weapons or to injure people or injure yourself because of you're mad or upset because you're feeling like you've been bullied. If people are bullying you and if you're feeling like crying, go find someone to cry to. Or your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your mother, or father. It doesn't make no difference. But it's way better than injuring people or killing people or hurting people. And I just really feel terrible about people just taking innocent lives and feeling good about it for that moment. It's the same as that silly man that went out there and raped all those girls that was trying to go to get the Olympics, and he's out there. He's gonna be in prison for 170 years. So what? So now he can pleasure himself sexually, remembering the good old days when he was tricking people, having them believing that their children are in good hands when they're in worthless hands, and in the hands of a person that betrays the individual. And I'm saying, people, pay close attention, because your mother, father, sister, brothers, and friends are being subject to the same kind of behavior. In 2018, people are still doing evil, wicked things right now to this very second. And you have to watch and pray. And all this crazy stuff where people used to jump and ride because they're just trying to get from point A to point B without spending any money. but now they're paying a very vicious price because people are pulling this, faking like I need to pull the car over the side because it's acting funny, or I need to stop to use the restroom, and next thing you know, they're knocking your head or choking you out, and next thing you know, you're being taken advantage of because they have this fleshly need or desire to fulfill, and that's all that they're trying to do is fulfill that fleshly needed desire to do so. These people need to be brought to justice and brought to prison or whatever the case may be. But watch and pray. Stay strong. Stay focused. I pray all the time for you people to do what's right. And all you people that have gone to jail or gone to prison or doing time, or it doesn't make any difference. Life goes on. But let everybody, life goes on. Hopefully you'll mature out of that bad behavior or that bad mental state where that evil attitude of taking advantage of human beings. I'm just saying that there's a ton of stuff that I could have read or could read to you, but like I said, my vision is badly compromised right now. So there's a ton of stuff that I could read to you people or tell you about that. I know you read articles or saw many articles to this day, and that's why I invite you to the show to speak on subject, because maybe you don't have no problem with your vision right now. But myself, I try to help any and everybody. And I'm just saying, live your life to the fullest. Trust God Almighty and love one another and do what's right. But play to win. But don't be caught napping. When I use that term, napping, by not paying attention or not being attentive to what's going on around you. Every day, minds are changing, and some people just have a crazy, screwed up mind, and please don't let yourself be a victim of that crazy, screwed up mind. Learn to trust people. Learn to trust people that love you and try and guide you and direct you to do what's right and justice and justify. And I'm just trying to tell you people, just play to win. Don't be afraid. Don't let yourself be psyched or conned. Whatever you need to do to stay on this planet, do so. Many people have died early lives because they've allowed themselves to get caught up with their friends. And many times people are, is that someone here? Is that you, Cecil?
How about me? Yeah. How about your old buddy? How about your old buddy, Bruce?
Oh, you want to come on up, Bruce? I don't care. You want the invitation is right.
Say hi. Give you about 15
Have a
minutes.
seat.
Okay
Yeah, please
How
come
you
in.
doing today?
You're welcome, brother.
You're looking well, buddy.
Trust Scott.
You look like
So, please come on.
you looking
Get
well.
a chair and come on in.
I got it.
And again, thank you, Sister Ellie.
Looking good, Cecil.
And please, Brother Bruce, I've been looking for you. My son said you're coming around about 20 after it. So you're here now. If you have things that's on your heart and mind, get that wonderful stuff out there.
Oh, I got it for you. I got it.
Okay. You're 100% welcome, Brother Bruce Broussard. And,
very much so.
you know, I'm talking about everything. I don't mind who I feel as I hurt or don't hurt, as long as I get the point across.
Well,
that's all I
you're
meant.
the man. That's why I had to come.
Well, thank you very much, Brother Broussard. Okay, so please, you have the stage. This is Brother Bruce Broussard.
Yeah. Well, as you know, we're right in the midst of the election now.
Yes, we are.
We're almost at the beginning of the primary, I say, because that's really when it starts. You know my point? And so for the next month at least, we're going to be very much involved.
Yes.
They're going to be mailing out the voters, actually the voting material, if you will.
Yes.
You know, the ballots on the 22nd.
Okay.
So 22nd of April.
Okay.
See, so we got that much time, and then the 14th or so up in that area will be the decision day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's a very interesting piece, and there's some very interesting races that are going on, primarily as the county. We probably got a very active young lady. Her name is Deborah Harris.
Yes.
She's running for county chair. She's running for county chair and she's really there. In fact, she'll be on the show maybe next week or something.
Okay, well, I look forward.
Well, I think that's Easter next weekend. You know, everybody's gonna come celebrate weekly.
Well, we'll be here.
You gonna be here?
Easter, yes,
well, I tell you what,
we
may creep on down. I'll tell her to come on down, maybe do that. We got that one. She's running for county chair, if you will, against Deborah Kafori.
Okay.
You're familiar with at the county.
Okay.
And she's very knowledgeable and someone that's I'm sure that the county, if you will, could appreciate.
Deborah Kafori, yes.
Yeah, Deborah Kafori and Deborah Harris. Isn't that something?
Deborah Harris, yes.
Yeah,
if you can bring them both on.
Well, no, I can get Deborah here, Harris.
Okay.
But now Deborah Kafori is a different situation. You know, because she's we've had some issues with her.
Okay, let's talk about those issues.
Yeah, you know I am. But since you opened the door.
The door is wide open.
You know, she had an issue in regards to, she was referring to Loretta Smith, remember the B word?
Yes.
The bitch word, remember that?
The bitch word, amen.
I mean, let's make it plain.
You got to keep it plain.
It's a very serious situation.
Because that's what it's all about here.
It is, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that still seems to be on the table. That will be in the campaign.
Yes.
That will still continue to be in the campaign because there's institutional racism at the county.
Yes.
Across the board. Okay?
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, and in fact, I'd been up there in my 3 minutes. You take a 3 minutes, you don't get an hour up there.
Oh, well, you get the whole, as much time you need here.
You get 3 minutes. And the issue was brought out, and it was talked to a bit, but there's a lot of things going on at the county.
Yes.
There's a divide kind of a situation.
Yes.
And race is an issue there still.
Okay.
But they're trying to set up a committee. That's basically what I'd like to see happen. And then have a committee, if you will, to talk about the issue, because that's the key.
Amen.
If you don't talk, you can't resolve nothing.
Amen.
You got me? And I proposed that Dr. Price, who was at one point in time under Gladys McCoy.
Yes.
She was on a committee for 10 years, and basically when an issue like that rose, Dallas reacted to it and put together a committee to address it. And it was going real well.
Okay, great.
Okay, and then in all due respect, then she left, and then Bev Stein came on board. He was the county chair, and she got rid of the committee.
Oh, sad.
But Dr. Price is still here.
Okay.
And so I basically had Dr. Price to come on down, and she made a presentation and identified basically what the committee was about.
Yes.
And supposedly the chair was supposed to met with her, but she didn't.
Okay.
She didn't. And so I still think that is an issue. And I still think that she should take the time and the county should be given the opportunity to hear what she has to say about
or at
the
least
committee.
come on board for community for justice
we'll
and
get her that
speak
way.
about it right
definitely.
there.
It needs to be done because
Yes.
there's such a divide, and this is such an important race now this time around.
Right.
Very, very important race.
Right.
With the national situation, with the Trump situation and whatever,
Yes.
we got some major issues here in the state of
we
Oregon.
have.
And especially the Portland metropolitan area and this district. As you know, I'm running for District 2.
Yes, you are.
I'm running for District 2.
Yes.
And this is my home.
And I pray
I've been
that
here
you win.
40 years.
Yes.
40 years.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now there, in all due respect, there's another young black woman. Her name is Sharon. What was I'm talking about Sharon McConnell or something like that. But anyway, sometimes the names, sometimes they don't.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, but Sharon is running, and she's doing a good job.
Okay.
She's doing a good job, and that's a good deal. And then there's two other women that are running, one of which happens to be a Hispanic, and she's a good lady. However, naturally her focus, the Mexican, the Hispanic focus, are basically sanctuary city.
Yes.
And also immigration.
Yes.
And citizenship. That's their piece.
Amen.
And hey, that's where they go, no problem. But in all due respect, in our area, District 18, as you know, when in the early days, we fought to get District 18.
Yes, we did.
Because beforehand it was just kind of like the black community,
yeah,
but it didn't have an address.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
And then it was focused more in letting black people know that this is where we're at.
That's right. And it just so happened that a number of the residents happened to be black.
Yes.
Which would have given a chance, if you will, for a black to get elected from that position.
Yes.
Got me? And as you know the history, the first person that was elected from District 18 was a gentleman by the name of Ed Leak, a white guy.
Okay.
He just happened to have been a neighbor of mine.
Okay.
Ed Leak, but we couldn't get along, if you will. Black folks couldn't get along. But the second time around, in all due respect, it was, I thought it was going to be Harold Williams, but it got to be Margaret Carter. And you know the story. But in all due respect, that was actually, Vera Katz actually brought her on. Okay. And it was a women's right thing. That's what she was doing.
Yeah.
You got me? But the fact of the matter is, I got to be upfront with you about it. We didn't do a good job of mentoring to make sure that blacks was going to take that seat over.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't do the job.
Absolutely, yes.
Unfortunately, we didn't do the job. As you know, now we had Margaret for a number of years, and she, you know, hey, it's like anything else. She stayed there for a number of years. Good, as far as I'm concerned, she did a good job. She kept the seat.
Yes, thank you, Margaret Carter.
And then,
yes.
then after that, I think we had, I think it was either Lou Frederick. I think it was. I think Lou Frederick was there, and he was there for a state representative for a while. And then now we've got Lou Frederick has moved on to the Senate. Yes. And now we got a Hispanic sitting in District 18 running this.
Yes.
I respect them. I understand their issues and whatever, but I got issues too.
Yes, we have. You
we
got to
some
move.
Issues.
Keep on moving forward.
And so as running as a candidate, I'm going to be getting together with her.
Yes.
And then I support her in terms of what their issues are, but we need to get together and talk.
And they're welcome on this show to
yes.
discuss any subject matter.
Very, very much
I'll
so.
stop whatever I'm doing
very
and
much.
keep your matters moving forward.
Because see, to me, I think this whole issue about Sanctuary City, there's a big story there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? People haven't told the story right. They just haven't told the story right from the standpoint of, you know, there were two incidents where in all due respect, Mexicans, Hispanics, well, you know, by the time you get to know, in case you never know what you're. But anyway, they were given citizenship in two different areas.
Okay.
One was when President Bush was President Bush, Republican.
I remember President Bush.
They gave them a blanket citizenship at that time.
Right.
And President Reagan gave the Mexicans a citizenship at that time.
Okay.
And then now they're looking for a third time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's an issue. But the bottom line is that the whole thing was the fact that and that there was a big issue about work that Americans didn't want to do.
Right.
That was a justification.
Right.
But I know a lot of black folks would have taken them jobs right now.
Would have taken them right now.
Right now,
yes,
today.
Right
you get my
now.
point? So we just need to talk about it, and I think that would be an opportunity to talk about it.
Okay.
Well, because she's a good people, and my point is that, and she's Mexican because that's the neighboring state, as you know, country, if you will.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So we'll talk about that. And then there's another young lady that's running. Her name is she's from India. Okay. She wasn't born here.
Okay.
She's from India. Okay. And it seems as though she's getting all the support. All the unions have endorsed her.
Okay.
The private sector has endorsed her. But I'm sitting there and saying, wait a minute.
Does she have a citizenship yet?
Well, not in, as one would say, not in Northeast Portland.
Right. That's
well, she doesn't know anything about the community.
Right.
See, and that bothers me. You know what I'm saying? It really bothers me. And don't get me wrong, I think she's a nice woman. But the fact of the matter is, it looks like this thing is buzzing on me. I got to get this thing off of here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, folks. Sorry for a minute.
Yeah, let it buzz.
I'm sorry about this.
You want to speak on it? Go ahead and speak.
Yeah. But anyway, no. I'm getting ready to call this thing off. Sorry about that. But my point is that I want us to know who she is.
Yes.
And I think she needs to come here.
Absolutely.
And talk to the people about, because in all due respect, she doesn't have the background as far as the community is concerned.
Okay.
Even in the district, as far as I'm concerned. Got my point? So she needs to be brought to date.
Yes.
Now, and then naturally, I've got some concerns about the unions all supporting her, because I've been working with the unions for a number of years, as you know.
Absolutely.
Got my point?
Yes.
And yet and still, they've forgotten me.
That's horrible.
Well, no support at all.
Right.
Isn't that something?
Yo, that's
In
horrible.
fact, it's so bad, Cecil, that I can't even get an ad in the union newspaper. Isn't that something?
Oh, that's sad. That's
Isn't that sad?
Yes.
It said, unless I get one endorsement from a union, one of the unions, I can't even put an ad in that paper.
Oh, that's horrible.
And what comes to mind is SEIU. Remember the SEIU piece?
Yes.
The custodian. Remember the custodian piece when they were all fired?
Yeah, right.
And then Chad Didden was there, and then I was there for 2 years. We had to fight to get those people back to work.
They trying to get black people back to work.
And some of them died, if you will. You got me?
Yes.
And the whole idea is that the school district, Portland School District, wanted to save some money because those guys were about ready to get their PERS, their retirement pay.
Right.
So get rid of them. See?
Right.
And then, but what's so ironic about it, the same union that they were paying dues for were out recruiting undocumented workers.
Oh wow! No,
I mean that's a heavy piece. And in all due respect to them, I mean I'm sure it was just a few of the hierarchies that were in that aspect of it. I will debate them any day of the week on your show. And challenge them on this bill. You know what I'm saying? You mind having them on?
Yeah,
the SEIU. Get them on here and tell me what was their rationale.
Do they invite right now?
Yes, right there you go. What was their rationale, if you will, for recruiting, recruiting non-documented? And don't get me wrong, it's not any fault of the Mexicans.
Right.
They didn't recruit themselves.
Right.
The SEIU, the same dues-paying members. And in all due respect, you know, they do a lot of cleaning and stuff like that and whatever, but we do too.
Yes,
you see what I'm saying?
You know that.
But so I'm just saying that's a very interesting piece aspect of it. And then most of the, well, it's like anything else, most of the powers to be, and in some cases, now listen to this, now you're gonna be interesting.
Okay.
Some of the black leaders have endorsed her.
Oh, that's, well, you know how we
You know what I'm saying?
We just go with the wind.
And you know, I think about this whole idea about the business of endorsements. We got 2 black newspapers here, right?
That's true.
The Scan and the Observer, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know not one of those newspapers have highlighted blacks?
And you
To educate people
and
about.
you've helped them before.
Yes, oh yes, oh yes. In fact, the Scan, in all due respect, the Scan tends to tout themselves as they were the first black newspaper. But
Right.
no, the Observer was. You know
Right,
that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, that's a very serious situation. You know what I mean? You should at least, I mean, white folks want to know what black folks are thinking. That's why you got poor folks.
Amen.
That's why I'm here.
That's what
You know
poor
I mean?
folks
That's
is
what
all
it's
about.
about. And so the Scanner should automatically educate white folks about what black folks are.
Absolutely.
But you can't sit up there and say, well, I'm going to go on and promote the white candidates
Right.
and leave out the blacks. Well, are you a black newspaper then?
Yeah, that's horrible. I think that's a horrible behavior.
So that's an issue. So hopefully Foster is looking at this show.
I hope
and,
so.
And there's still a little time left, if you
Yes,
will,
yes.
for him to at least project black folk, that black folks are running for office.
Yes.
And I happen to be one of those guys.
Yes, you are.
But there's Loretta Smith running, there's Joanne Bowman running. I mean, you know, this is some tough times right now.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
the community is changing, as you know, and gentrification is big.
And I'm just trying to let black people know, look, get up off your dead ass
That's
and
right.
move forward.
There you go.
In helping
There you go.
help each other
That's right.
live to another level of living, because that's what life is all about.
Exactly.
The bettering ourselves and each other.
Exactly. So
That's what it's all
I
about.
appreciate that because you know, a lot of times people say, well, gee, Bruce, why don't you wait until after the election's over? No. You don't wait. No, you got to talk. We got to talk about this
You
now.
have to talk about it right now. Right
And
now.
so the challenge is to Mr. Foster, especially.
Absolutely.
Mr. Foster, you need to come here and sit down here at Poor Folks.
Yeah, Poor
right here with
Folks.
Cecil.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yes.
share with him your rationale.
Yes, I'd really like to know what
not
your rationale
not
is.
highlighting black folks in that black newspaper.
Got to move forward with the black black people,
because
people colored black African Americans.
Right.
That's a race that
That's
we
right.
need to move
That's
our
right.
race
That's
forward.
right.
That's
That's
what
right.
I
That's
speak
right.
about every day.
Yes, you do.
About moving the Negro
Yes, you
race
do.
forward,
Yes, you
because
do.
we come from wonderful parents
Yes.
that have been through the struggle and continue to go through
Yes.
the struggle.
Yes.
And most people sit back and act like, well, I got a few people to give me a few nibblings, and
Yes.
and they're starting to think about the immediate moment, but that stuff will all go
Yes.
negative
Yes. Yes.
anytime.
Yes.
And I want you to more or less get yourself back rooted about caring about Negro, colored, black African Americans.
Yes.
And help each other, move each other forward, and do great things.
Right. Well, Bernie, right in up front, you got it right here. Cecil, will you invite him over here?
Oh,
Bernie Foster.
Yes,
the
you're
Scanner
right.
newspaper.
Yes, you
and
are.
Mr. Washington, both. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and at the same time, I will say to the black community,
Yes.
you got to buy a subscription.
Absolutely.
You got to support the paper
Yes.
because no paper exists without the number of viewers.
Yes.
This way they can't get any ads. You get my
Yeah,
point?
that's
But
true.
they're out there for free.
Right.
But in all due respect, they're not projecting what I think the white community wants to hear.
Right,
They
right.
want to see black folks.
Absolutely.
Successful
Got to.
black folks.
Yes,
You
yes.
got my point?
Yes.
Not just the successful owners of the paper.
Absolutely. That's the truth. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You
Brother
tell it
Pope?
correctly.
I mean,
100%.
and so I'm not trying to attack them personal. This is a very serious situation.
Yes.
The area is getting gentrified. Everybody hear the word gentrified, and the bottom line, they need some help.
Yes, they do.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying to you, you can't really talk about diversity
Yeah.
until the black folks clean up their own house.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. That's why I always speak about black folks. It's because it's all about playing to win.
Exactly.
And about the silly police or killing or
Yes.
injuring people.
We got to talk.
Gotta talk. Gotta
Gotta
put
talk.
it in their face to
Gotta
tell
talk.
them that, look, you need to be brought to justice, and they can't just keep trying to sweep it under the rug. But it's real talk. That's what it's all about. With Poor Folk Community for Justice, it's all about
That's what you do.
humanity for all human beings.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about.
Exactly. And that's so important because you know, and people need to really understand that, because this district, you know, I'm going to be representing the whole district.
Amen.
Everybody. I feel very comfortable in diversity.
Amen. Please.
You know I am. In fact, now all of a sudden I got to run to this other show, but I tell you what I'm going to do, because I got to get the Voters Digest, get these people together. But what I'm going to do next week,
Yes.
I'll bring these folks over here for you.
Bring them over and have them sit there behind.
Sit right here, right here.
Yeah, and tell it like it is.
I'm gonna try to get you as many of the black people who are running for office, which is very important. I'm gonna get the white ones there too.
Yes.
But my point, I think it's so essential that the community as a whole needs to know who these people are.
And don't be worrying about because of Easter that you.
That's right.
That I won't, because I will be here Easter to get your truth out there for any and everybody that want the truth.
And in all due respect, you know, Easter is kind of like one of those special days. Everybody go to church and whatever. And, you know, I'm a devout, as you say, we talk religion and this and the other. But we need to arrive too.
Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Amen.
Okay. Well, Case, it's always a pleasure. I will
You know
see
it's
you
always
next
a
week.
pleasure.
I'll guarantee I'll be
You're
here.
100% welcome
I'll
on
be
the
here,
show
sir. Okay, my
anytime.
friend? Okay.
And thank you for coming.
All right.
When you walk in, you're in.
Right.
The mic is already on the table for
Okay.
you
Okay.
for whatever subject matters you want to address.
Okay, thank you very much, buddy.
You're running for office in
Yes, District number 2.
District number 2. Bruce Bouchard. Okay, thank you again, my brother.
And thank you for seeing Cecil here. He's an awesome person. He's an awesome man.
Yeah, thank you, my
I'm so
brother.
glad he's here.
Thank you very much. Okay, praise God. You all stay blessed and stay strong. And Sister Ellie, when did you guys want to come out? You're welcome to come out whenever you guys want to do so. We'll put your information out there because I'm pretty much through talking with about anybody and everybody. Hi, Sister Ellie.
We are here.
Amen. Is your mic there?
Yeah.
And I'll just move over. Once you get yourself seated, I'll move over.
You are fine.
Okay, here we are.
So we would like to talk about a little bit fake videos. Your microphone is on the table.
Yours? Okay, there's one here.
Okay.
No, yours is not there. I don't know where.
Drop mine.
Yeah, here we go. Watch it wait for a second. All right, you can put that one.
So a few weeks ago, I read an article about the fake videos, and I got shocked by this article. I read that online, the LA Times.
Yes.
And I sent an email to Steve. I said, Steve, what do you think about these fake videos? Can we talk about? Because Steve knows very well the internet and the computers and the whole technology.
Yes.
Is
You're always coming up with some good topic to talk about.
You are a good expert on that. And I said, I got shocked. How these fake videos are created, or how can we create that? Do you need a software or something? So we would like to talk about a little bit, and I can ask what is Steve's opinion about why is this so popular today, these fake videos?
So you know, Ellie told me about the fake videos. I said, oh, okay, let me look into this. So there's not much out there, but it's starting to emerge as a issue.
Yes.
So I went online and I did a little bit of research.
Yes.
So I have a couple of videos.
Yes.
I thought first we kind of show, these are some old videos. It's an old video and it talks about it shows you 5 different examples of fake videos.
Which is fantastic.
So if our help in the control room could go to the first video page, it's the next slide, and play that would be great.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's what we're kind of
Hello and welcome to the iQuantum Top 5, the weekly show where we scour through what the net has to offer and bring you 5 of the best. This week we are looking at the top 5 fake viral videos.
At number 5 this week is a very unfortunate bungee jump. This video is actually part of a longer advertisement for Foster's, but the clip has been edited to appear as though it's a real event. It originally appeared on British TV in 2003 and received 186 viewer complaints.
New Foster's Hit Tap. Don't lose your head.
At number 4 this week is an eagle attack caught on camera. The large bird swoops down over a park and seemingly tries to carry away a small child. This video was actually a part of a class assignment by students from Canada's National Animation and Design Centre. The eagle and the child it picks up are both 3D models inserted into footage.
At number 3 this week is Ultimate Batting Practice, a video which shows a man rebounding 4 baseballs off miniature trampolines to create an infinite loop. While very clever, the video is faked and the baseballs are actually superimposed into the batter footage.
Getting closer at number 2, NBA star Kobe Bryant takes some time off to leap over a speeding Aston Martin. This clip was created as part of an advertising campaign for Nike, with the Aston Martin footage combined with Kobe jumping to make it appear that he clears the car in a single jump.
And at number 1 this week is a man sticking a knife into a toaster. While the dangers of such an activity are certainly real, this video is indeed fake. You can distinctly hear the blast before you see the flash. Also, a blast large enough to knock back 3 grown men would certainly be able to break windows and destroy the microwave sitting nearby. Thanks for watching this week's episode of iQuantum Digital's Top 5. Stay tuned for more content next week and click subscribe to keep up to date with our latest news and videos.
So we kind of saw there how fake videos are being used for promotion, marketing, entertainment. Okay, but Ellie's concern is that, if I understand right, is that it's becoming easier and easier to make these. These were all made by professionals and a group of people who have the technology to do it. But a little research I did found out that there will come a time where you can make a fake video on your phone.
Oh, really? Okay.
You can make it on your phone, and Ellie's concern is that it's kind of the fake video news type thing where people are making fake videos, but they're passing them off as if they are real.
Oh, that's horrible.
And so a little bit different from our examples where people were very upfront, no, this is not real. Some people thought they were real, but as soon as they inquired, they found out, no, these were all put together. Ellie's concern is more of kind of the fake news videos, if I'm correct. Where people begin to make the same way as we have fake news where people are making statements that are not necessarily true or factual and trying to pass them off as true, that people will start doing that with video. And the population is more inclined to look at a video and say, oh yeah, that's
take it by at face value.
Right.
Yes.
I just worried about we get so manipulated in different ways through by this fake news. A lot of fake news is. How about the fake videos? You can believe because the video was not able to produce just from the real life, and now you don't need the real life to record something.
Right.
You can recreate something.
Right.
And it can be used for our manipulation.
Yes.
And we are manipulated already enough, and I guess.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
So what is the end? Or the person who created that software, he said he created for the entertainment and for the good, for the good usage. But we can't trust the judgment of the people because they can be used for bad information, or they can be used manipulating us.
And that's horrible.
It is.
Yes.
And so I did a little bit more research and I looked into, well, how are these things made?
Right.
So I have another video that kind of shows you how anyone, you, I, Ellie, can be put into a video and be made to say something that we never really said. But it could look like. So the next clip we're going to show you, it shows you how that's done.
Okay.
Okay, so if we go ahead and play this next clip. We have to go, there we go.
Give a Hollywood studio ample time and money, and it can create the most realistic computer-generated characters. Think of a young Princess Leia's appearance in last year's Rogue One. But what if smartphone users had the same power at their fingertips? Today, researchers are developing software that harnesses artificial intelligence to generate lifelike but fake footage. Startups like Ellie's Pinscreen only need one selfie to start modeling the facial features of a video avatar that can make you look like a video game character or like a real-life person. Pinscreen believes the technology can make communication more engaging when your real self isn't available. The company has gotten so good that what you're watching now isn't even real. I'm merely a computer-generated realization of myself created from a photograph. To prove it, I'll say things that are patently false things that the real David person would never say. The hot dog is a sandwich, and the Yankees are a gift to baseball. And therein also lies the risk of such a breakthrough. At a time when fake news has dominated discourse, AI-generated video may only make it harder to know what's true and what isn't.
Yeah, well, basically he took, okay, so basically he took a photo, like a selfie, of one person, and using the technology, he was able to take the video of himself and make that photo turn into a video of that person saying what he was saying.
Oh, okay.
So, and that technology there, you know, basically you can take a photo or video of anybody, the president, the leader of a church, anybody, and you can make them basically say whatever it is you want them to say in a video. That looks pretty darn realistic.
My God.
And the technology is getting even better now to make it even look more realistic.
That's awesome.
You know, it's not something that's new. It's been around for a while, and people in the tech industry, you know, they could tell if something was fake. You know, did it flicker at a certain time in the video?
Right.
Are the shadows wrong?
Right.
You know, they can tell whether or not this was put together. But the technology is getting better that you're going to need technology to tell you whether something is fake or not.
Oh, whether it's fake or not,
You know,
okay.
Because they're getting that good to the naked eye, it's getting that good of what they're producing there. And so Ellie, you know, Ellie's big concern is when you can take this, you can make anybody say anything.
Yes, and that's awful.
And so, you know, one of the questions I asked myself was, well, why is this becoming so popular?
Why is it so
becoming so popular?
successful, the fake?
So if we can go to the next slide there. So I put together a couple of key points as to why the fake is so successful. And so what I come up with is, one is, you know, it's almost human nature to want to believe something that's sensationalized.
Right, that's true.
You know, and you know, while we don't like drama, drama's entertaining.
Absolutely,
You know
drama.
what I mean?
Yeah, yes, it is.
You know, and so what people who are making these fake videos do, they draw upon that.
Yes.
You know, and unfortunately, we grab that stuff.
Absolutely.
And we want to share it with everybody.
Yeah,
you know,
especially if everything is halfway true.
You know, and so, you know, and I'll admit it, you know, often what's non-true, what's false, is more entertaining than is what's true.
That's right.
You know, you look at even factual news concentrates, you know, what's news, what's going wrong.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of things going right out there, but it doesn't always make the news unless the reporter or the news station consciously says, we need to do something positive. You know, so with that happening there, you know, that's why this fake video, fake news becomes so successful, is because people grab onto it.
Oh, people jump right up with both feet.
Well,
yes.
you know,
absolutely.
That's going on for a long time.
Absolutely,
you know, somebody start talking about somebody bad, everybody wants to hear what it is they're saying,
they
whether it's true or not.
They don't want to miss one drop.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
You know,
human nature.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons this is so successful, is because of that, you know, and you know, unfortunately, you know, facts don't matter sometimes.
True.
You know, there's a saying, and we've seen it used in our politics through these last couple of years, where if you say something enough, people are going to start believing it.
Absolutely.
Whether it's true or not.
Right.
You know, and that's another reason why this is so successful, and why fake news, fake videos will be so successful, is because if you see it often enough, you're going to begin to believe it. You know, so there's another reason there why this is so successful. And then the last thing I'll mention about why it's so successful is that, you know, unfortunately, according to Jonathan Swift, he wrote, "Falsehood flies and the truth comes limping after it."
Absolutely, yes.
You know, and I know you'll come up with a saying, because you always come up with a saying. So I know you'll come up with one too. That sounds like a Cecil saying there. So, you know, that's why this is so successful, and why it's, you know, why Ellie's so concerned, because we see it with the the fake news, and with videos becoming fake, we're very concerned that, you know, people will start buying into these fake videos and passing them off as factual, you know. But you know, there are some strategies out there that can help us with these things, you know. So if we'll go to the next slide there, okay. So what can we do about, you know, about these false and fake videos?
How can we check that? If sometimes, you know, you just saw a video and you think about, maybe it's not true. It's just not true. This person cannot add this type of stories or something like that. It's just not true. And it's suspicious, the whole video. What can I do? Is there any help? Or
well, I think you hit on it. You hit on one of the key points. You know, if you recall, when Photoshop became very popular, people were photoshopping images and making things look better than they were, or putting people in places that they weren't at. You know, and at first, when that first came out, you know, people were like, really? You know, tabloids were having a field day with it.
They'd been somewhere very important when they hadn't been nowhere.
Right, you know, but you know, after a while, society, especially the youth in society, begin to say, oh man, that's Photoshop.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely, yes.
After a while, people begin to use their common sense and realize, somebody put that together. That's not true. You know, so the skepticism begins to grow, and you begin to think more critically about what you're seeing.
True.
You know, when I was a kid, we were taught in school how to think critically about what we were reading.
Absolutely.
Don't believe everything you read.
Very true.
You know, read between the lines. And so we were taught that in school.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the same kind of understanding began to take place with Photoshop. And I think the same kind of understanding will begin to emerge with fake videos.
I just saw it probably relates to the subject, a photoshopped photo about Britney Spears. And she was not even, not any way too similar than the real Britney Spears. And people, her followers was very upset because she was doing that for a very high-end advertising.
Absolutely.
And they photoshopped a completely different person.
Right.
And her followers, they get angry.
Correct.
And they said, we want you to back your original face. We don't like you.
Right.
That
and
is
so,
on
you
the
know,
web,
yeah, you know, it's you know, I think one of the big ways is through common sense.
Right.
You know, is like Ellie said, it's, you know, is that really her? You know, if something's out of character.
Right.
You know, that's one of the ways you use your common sense. You know, does it make sense?
Right.
You know, also, you know, even though we have the technology, you know, the longer the video is, the more easy it is to see mistakes.
That's true.
So is it just a short clip? You know, is it something very short? Does it flicker? There are things with the technology still that you can look at, and you can see that something happened with it. So those are, you know, using our common sense, I think will help us a lot in how to handle this. You know, I think also we need to think about what it is that we share with people that we get. You know, is it just because it's entertaining and it's you know, something that we think other people might be interested in, do we share it as if it's real? You know, through Twitter or Facebook or things like that. You know, I think our consciousness of the fact that things can be fake, and our understanding that while it's entertaining, and there is a place for fake videos and entertainment.
That's true.
You know, we all love the special effects, and we all love the movies that but we know that that's fiction. You know, we know that that's not true. That's entertainment. So there is a place for it. So when we share these things, we need to make sure that we have an understanding that we're not sharing it as if it is true. You know, and that's where Twitter and other social networking tools come into play. Are people, you know, you have to be careful when you retweet something, because if the original person shared it as if it was real, and you retweet it, you are sharing it as if it's real too. And so, you know, you want to be careful of that. That's another strategy that we need to be aware of, and things like that. Also, you know, we live in a multicultural, multi-language world. So we have to make sure that when we're looking at closed captions and things like that,
Yes.
that they're true, that they're accurate. Is that really what the person's saying?
Yes.
Or is it made to be something else? So that's another way that goes on there.
Thank you, Sister Ellie. Okay.
Okay. And I would say the last strategy that we need to take, that we need to keep in mind, you know, it's society can either accept this and let it go on and not challenge it, or they can begin to make it clear to everybody, hey, okay, there's a place for these fake videos and entertainment, but news is not a place for it.
Absolutely, it's not a place for it.
And they can, you know, they can demand that news stays factual.
Absolutely.
You know, well, right now we got, and I'm going to leave it up to our, our young population who understands technology. They're going to be the ones.
Absolutely. Yes.
You know, they're going to be the ones that are going to demand facts.
When
they want facts, they're going to demand facts, and when they want entertainment, they're going to get entertainment.
Right.
I got a 19-year-old son, loves entertainment.
Right.
But you ask him, you really believe that? Oh, come on, Dad, that's fiction.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
that makes sense.
You know, I like it,
yeah.
but that's fiction. You know, that's not facts. You know, and even he'll look at the news sometimes and go, "They lying."
Yes, yes, absolutely.
You know, so there is a keen understanding amongst our youth about recognizing things and not just buying into them because somebody says it.
Yes.
You know, if it doesn't make sense to them, they're going to challenge it.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that's, you know, when Ellie brought this up about fake news and those kind of things, I think that's kind of her concern is that, you know, what's going to happen? Are people going to start having fake videos and we're going to believe them and then it's going to change the way we perceive things? You know, I'm going to be optimistic and say that no, it's not. Okay, I think that's our show for today.
Thank you very much, Brother Steve.
All right.
And this Brother Steve, you want to tell them who you are?
I'm Steve Roberts. I think we're off now, though.
No, I guess so.
Yeah, they're just playing the credits there.
Well, thank you very much for coming,
how's that?
Brother Steve. I think you're very phenomenal with the information, and thank you very much.
This was good. This was Ellie's idea. She called me up and said, or texted me and said, Steve, we should do something on fake news,
Yeah,
or fake videos.
He did. And Bruce Broussard came out here, and he got his message.